Thank you for joining us for this information session on the microloans that are available for women entrepreneurs. Before we get started, my name is Elizabeth Giza, and I'm the programming coordinator for the University of Scranton Small Business Development Center. We have just a few housekeeping notes for you regarding Zoom and the technical process of this session. So first and foremost, we're using the webinar format. So you'll just be able to see and hear our presenters. You won't see all the other boxes of the attendees. So no worries if you only see one box on your screen. Just make sure that you can see and hear everything by checking the audio and video controls in the lower left-hand corner of your Zoom window. We are recording this session today, so you will receive a copy of the recording within 24 hours of the session. The way that you would access that is you go into the e-center where you signed up for the program. You'll see the session listed there, and then underneath it, it will be, you'll see the materials for the session. So in addition to a copy of the recording, you will also receive the slides that you'll be seeing today. We will be taking questions during this presentation. Feel free to submit them at any time using the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and we'll wait to answer questions until the end of the session. This will be about a half an hour, so we want to get through the information first, and then we'll answer questions at the end. But again, feel free to submit them while they're fresh in your mind by using the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. Once more, we are recording the presentation, and you will receive a copy in the e-center within 24 hours. So with that, I would like to introduce Maggie Martinelli with the Scranton Area Community Foundation. Maggie?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining today. I'm so happy to be here with the Scranton Small Business Development Center and their Women's Entrepreneurship Center. My name is Maggie Martinelli. I am the VP of Administration and Operations at the Scranton Area Community Foundation. We oversee the Women in Philanthropy initiative, which has made this microloan program possible. We're grateful for our partnership with Women's Entrepreneurship Center and the Small Business Development Center to help make this program possible. This information session hopefully will answer many of your questions, but certainly encourage you to reach out to your counselor at the SBDC if you have any additional questions, that end up coming up even after the session. But we certainly would love to entertain your questions. So feel free, as we're going along, as you said, to put it into the Q&A, and we'll answer those at the end. So if you want to go to the next slide, Donna. So just a quick overview of today's agenda. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Scranton Area Community Foundation. Then I'm going to turn it over to the SBDC. They'll talk a little bit about their organization, and they're going to talk about the microloan program and the application process. And then I'll take back over when we talk about loan closings, and then we'll go into next steps. So a little bit about the Scranton Area Community Foundation. We are a 501c3 nonprofit tax-exempt organization. We are recognized by the National Standards of U.S. Community Foundations. Basically means we are in line with the top community foundations in the country. We have a mission. We're on a mission to enhance the quality of life for people across the entire region of northeastern Pennsylvania, and we've been here since 1954. We act as a steward of charitable funds. We make grants. We serve as a resource for charitable giving. And we also try to act as a catalyst for change and growth. We have assets of more than $57 million, and we have more than 260 charitable funds. So things like scholarship funds or other charitably minded funds that support our community. We distributed over $4.6 million in grants and scholarships in 2021. Actually, I believe the number might be over 5 million now. We are just finalizing up our numbers from last year. So I think we tipped over that $5 million mark of giving into the community. And as I mentioned, we lead various initiatives, Women in Philanthropy, which oversees this microloan program. We also have the Center for Community Leadership and Nonprofit Excellence, NEPA Moves, which is an initiative focused on transportation solutions in the region, the Animal Welfare Collaborative, And then we also host NEPA Gives. You might have heard it's a one-day online giving day in June. That's going to be coming up again. And we also host the NEPA Learning Conference, which is a conference for nonprofit organizations in the region. So I'm going to turn it now over to Donna, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about the SBDC.
Very good. Thank you, Maggie, so much. And thank you to the Scranton Area Community Foundation for all they do for our entire region. They're a great big help to many, many people and organizations. So the SBDC, or Small Business Development Center, offers educational programs and consulting services to entrepreneurs looking to grow or start small businesses. The SBDC consultants work with entrepreneurs in a confidential one-on-one sessions and at no cost to help them with a range of business topics. From the SBDC today, I'm here. I'm the one of the people that in our office that work with the WIP and WEC program under the WEC is the Women's Entrepreneurship Center. And Lee Fenney is also on the call today. So she is the other person that you may be hearing from should you decide to work with us. Well, let's see. All right, the SBDC is part of the nonprofit Pennsylvania Small Business Development Center Network, and we're an accredited affiliate of the National Network of Small Business Development Centers. What this means to you is that if you're looking for the types of services that we provide to our small businesses, you can find it all over the state and all over the nation. Our services are offered at no charge, and that's because of our funding and support from the Pennsylvania Partnership for Regional Economic Performance, the Small Business Administration, and of course the University of Scranton. This is a map of the region that our Pennsylvania network serves. The Scranton Center serves Area 14, and we are in Lackawanna County. But as I mentioned, you can get our services, get SBDC services all across the state. So the Microloan program. This is a program with the Women in Philanthropy, which we refer to as WIP, and WIP is a program of the Scranton Area Foundation, as you just heard. They developed this program this loan program that enables women business owners and entrepreneurs to receive microloans from $1,000 to $10,000 to both start or grow their business venture. This program helps many, many women because it removes the barriers faced many times by low to moderate income women or women in transition. Unlike traditional financing or lending, these microloans don't require a minimum credit score or collateral. And then by providing this opportunity to women, WIP aims to create a path for women to obtain necessary funding and to develop their credit worthiness so they can qualify for traditional funding in the future. If you operate your business reside in, or have business ties to Lackawanna County, you'll qualify for this program. Your business also must be 51% or more owned by you, the woman. You have to be considered low to moderate income or be in transition. You'll need to participate in a financial confidence program, a training program presented by Women in Philanthropy to further help you develop your professional and personal financial skills. And then finally, you'll work with SBDC staff to develop your business plan, and we'll help you also with the loan application. Excuse me. So once the plan is developed and submitted to WIP, and we'll talk in detail in a minute, there may be some suggestions recommended to you by the Loan Review Committee. So at that point, the SBDC will help you decide which of these recommendations make sense and how you might want to implement them in your business. Then we'll be making sure that the loan application is in WIP's hands. If it is approved, if your application is approved for a microloan, you'll be completing a promissory note with the underwriter for the microloans. And if you're not approved at that point, consider the corrective action steps, and perhaps that would get you approved. Or if there are other items that you need to look into, you can do that as well and reapply again. The terms of the loan are very reasonable with 6% interest rate. And the best part of this is that that interest is put into a savings account. And once the loan is paid in full, the interest is paid to the borrower. So that's a nice bonus. And there's flexible repayment terms up to 48 months. The borrower, which would be you, repay the loan, and it's regular equal monthly installments. And borrowers can prepay the entire amount of the loan at any time, and there is not any restriction or penalty to the borrower. We've put what I've just said into a flow chart in case that's easier for you to understand. But basically, you decide that you want to pursue a loan, contact the SBDC. We may send you, or we will send you potentially to one of our training sessions, teaching you how to run a business or start a business and start a business. You'll also be required to attend financial confidence. You'll work on your business plan and application, and then it goes to the WIP committees to go ahead and approve, process, and hopefully get some money into your hands. So Maggie, if you'll take a minute and talk a bit about the closing process, that would be terrific.
Absolutely. So once you're approved, we have the loan is actually being held by People's Security Bank and Trust. And it's the closing is held in partnership with the Scranton Area Community Foundation. So the loan is actually held by the foundation, and it's for the benefit of the applicant. So there's paperwork that the foundation would sign, and there's paperwork that you as the actual borrower would sign. At the time of closing, we ask that applicants bring a government issued photo identification, which we'll make a copy of, and a check for $25. That $25 is used as an initial deposit into the savings account that's going to be opened. And it's going to be, again, it's going to be held in the foundation's name, but for your benefit. And what will happen is all the interest from the loan, so all the interest that you're paying, will be put into that savings account. And when you repay the loan in full, we will turn that savings account back over to you. So it will no longer be in the foundation's name, it'll be turned back over to you. In the event that you do not repay, then the balance of what is in the savings account would go towards paying off the balance of what's in the loan. Of course, we certainly discourage that because this program is predicated on the fact that we need individuals to repay the loan in order for us to continue having a pool available for our next set of applicants. So, you know, when you pay it back, you are actually paying it forward in order for the next woman who wants to start a business, for her to be able to have opportunity at the loan. So that's why it's just really important that we have it set up as a loan. If it was just strictly a grant program, we wouldn't be able to continue doing it for women for a number of years. It's the loan repayment that allows us to continue the program. So the loan payments are made in person or by mail to People's Security Bank. Unfortunately, because it is held a little bit differently than a typical loan program, where we are technically the borrowers for the benefit of the applicant, there's not an online option, which is unfortunate. But as I said, you can go into any branch for People's Security, or you can also mail it in, you know, mail a check that way. So there are a couple options for you available to repay this loan.
Thanks, Maggie. So next steps are to complete the inquiry form first, and we have the Google Doc linked in the PowerPoint presentation. So when you get a copy of that, you can just link there. You can also find any and all of this information on the SBDC's website, and there's the link for that. And also know that once you do submit the inquiry form, we at the SBDC will get in contact with you and begin the process. Figure out where you are and then go from there. So, does anyone have any questions? And I'll just put this up so you can have our contact information for now. But any questions? This is a very easy group. Maggie or Lee, is there anything that you would like to share with our audience now? Maybe things, tips, or things that we've seen?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, when we talk about the qualifications, and we think about that the fact that we don't have a minimum credit score and we don't require collateral, for that reason, there is still, you know, the means in which we need to vet the applications and make sure the business plan is solid, and have other ways of being able to vet you as an applicant. So that's really why the business plan is so critical. That's how we're able to kind of assess your readiness and your ability to be able to take this loan on. So hence why we do a business plan review, why we're going to come back with comments, why, you know, there's an additional application on top of that. So we try to not make it too cumbersome for our applicants, but at the same time, that is how we are able to vet and make sure you're ready for a microloan. So certainly, you know, spend time on that and make sure that that is solid, because that's basically how we will be basing our decision on the loan review.
Thank you for that. I'll also ask you, Maggie, what do you think is an average time frame for the whole process? Well, not even the whole process. I'll tell you that from the business plan perspective, it's going to take however long it takes for the client and the SBDC to work together to fully develop a business plan. Some people like to do it quickly and jump right into it. Other people like to take their time. Some of our women will want to attend a maybe 4 to 6 week training program on entrepreneurship, being our starter program. Others will just want to attend our 1 hour first step program for starting a business. So it just depends on where the woman is that way. And then drafting the plan, of course. Then it goes to you, your process, Maggie. How long does that typically take?
Yeah, so good question, Donna. I would say certainly plan out a couple of weeks is not, it's not the fastest turnaround time, and the big reason for that is because the women that are vetting the business plan and that are vetting the loan application are volunteers. So they are volunteering their time. So we do like to give them ample opportunity to review, to provide their feedback, to share that with all of you. And so we, you know, we usually would say from the time that we get the business plan to when we get the comments back to you, it could be anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. I'd say 4 weeks on the outside. And I only say that if there's, you know, holidays in between or something that might otherwise delay. But we do like to give, as I said, give them the opportunity to review, reflect, and make comments for us to consolidate those comments, get them back to your SBDC consultant, and then, you know, from there. Then with the loan application, kind of a similar thing. We like to give the opportunity for them to review the information. We need to get a meeting scheduled. Decisions need to be made if there's additional follow-up questions. So, you know, again, I would plan, you know, 2 to 3 weeks from the time that we get the loan application in hand. And then the closing, you know, I would say about 2 weeks. Again, we have to get a time on the schedule in which that works for the foundation staff that need to sign for you and for the bank. So it's about coordinating schedules, making sure everybody has time to review information, and giving enough time for our volunteers to do it amongst their full-time jobs. So we do try to make it as fast as we're able. You know, we certainly, again, we don't want to give too much burden on to you all as applicants, but we are balancing that with the volunteer service of those who are helping us with this program.
Very good. Thanks, Maggie. That's a lot of really good information. I'd also like to add that the SBDC is going to be able to work with any of the women for as long as they want. So we can help with the loan process, the business planning, get them through the loan process. But then we like to work with our clients all the way through starting their business and running their business and any changes that may pop up that they need some assistance with. We're there for that kind of assistance as well. And that still falls under our free services. So we do offer that and actually encourage that continued relationship.
Yeah, absolutely, Donna. That's a great point. And we certainly, from our perspective as the ones facilitating the loans, encourage you to do so. And I think communication is always key, right, Donna?
It is.
You know, if you're having challenges, even after having received the loan, if you're having challenges for whatever reason, you know, certainly talk to SBDC, talk to your consultant, find out, you know, how we can help, and also talk to the foundation. You know, we're here to help you. That's why this program was created, was to help women looking to start small businesses. So, you know, that's why we're here. So if you are able to get, you know, a microloan and you're having difficulties, reach out. We're here to help.
And reach out sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
That also helps you a lot and helps us a lot. So we'll know what's going on and be able to guide you accordingly.
Yeah.
So are there any other questions? Comments? Anything? No. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We hope you've learned a little bit about our program. And as always, just feel free to reach out and let us know how we can help you. So thank you very much.